Here they are back again with this next opportunity, a San Francisco team that has been so beaten up. And so Lindsey Theory, who joined us early this morning when the sun had not yet risen in Seattle, is back with us here. And let's talk about Kyle Shanahan first here, Lindsey. He had an interesting way of motivating his team this week. What did he do?
Yeah, Greeny, Kyle Shanahan always finds a little extra motivation when the moment calls for it. This week, he did not have to look far for that motivation. In a team meeting leading to tonight's divisional game, he went back to Week 18, the Niners lost to the Seahawks, and he put together a little Instagram super cut. This is not it, but it probably looked a little bit like it. Seahawks players dancing with cigars. Kyle Juszczyk tells me he showed us their Instagram post crapping on us, really. Like they had just won the Super Bowl. He says it worked. It was really good bulletin board material. Kyle Juszczyk telling me he's been doing this for a long time. That hit home. That is extra motivation, as though the Niners needed any. Because, Greeny, as we talked about at the top of the show, the Niners know that Seahawks quarterback Sam Darnold is dealing with something. That left oblique injury popped up on the injury report Thursday. Darnold has expressed confidence, as has Mike McDonald, that he will go tonight. However, how long he can go, how hard he can play, that very much is in question with an injury that Sam Darnold has never dealt with before. So the Niners know if they can get to him, they might have a good chance here for an upset tonight.
All right, Lindsey, thank you. And for those of you who are just joining us, we opened the show with that news again with Lindsey. And for those who didn't get to hear it from our quarterback here, Alex, you hear left oblique, hasn't thrown a ball in 2 days leading into a game. What sort of red flags do you see?
Well, that's not insignificant. For a quarterback to not throw a football 48 hours plus leading into a playoff game is really abnormal. He missed the final practice of the week, right? And he did this throwing, right? Like, again, he didn't take a hit. Your oblique is involved in the throwing motion. That's how he tweaked this, right? And again, this was on routes on air in practice. Like, imagine the output and the intensity here on game day as everything ratchets up. I know he's going to test it. Obviously, we'll be watching to find out, how he feels.
Yeah, and what's important about that is when it's not a hit, okay, then you definitely know it's a tear, right?
Yeah, exactly.
A possible pull, a possible tear. I feel for Sam. I mean, this is the biggest game of his life. I mean, really, it's like my sort of view on Sam Darnold is like he needs to be picked up by his team. They've been doing it all year. The defense, definitely one of the best in the game that has been picking him up. The run game helped them pick it up in the first time versus San Francisco late in the year. The special teams with their touchdown against the Rams. I mean, that's when it was then late in the year. He has to get picked up today because he's going to make a mistake. I'm just wondering how catastrophic it's going to be. So maybe this calms him down just a little to play a little tighter to the vest.
We all feel some sympathy, of course, for Sam Darnold. I guarantee you the 49ers do not. No. Because they are as banged up as a team could possibly be. Almost unimaginable that they're one win away from a championship game despite all these injuries. George Kittle, of course, the latest player to go down, out for tonight and the year, no matter how far they go with the torn Achilles. He'll be replaced by his backup tight end, Jake Tonges. You got Kittle, you got Nick Bosa, you got Fred Warner, and these guys have missed 47 combined games, including tonight, and yet somehow here they are. How have they managed to do this, and how do they keep it rolling tonight?
Well, I mean, I think Kyle Shanahan's, an amazing coach, all right, without question. One thing that he did, as such a great, coach will do, he wasn't afraid to hire the best guy out there, all right? And he brought in Robert Saleh to be his defensive coordinator. Who the hell is playing for him? I can't tell you. Listen to this. So last week they played the Eagles, all right? And they played phenomenal on defense. Yeah. The leading tackler, we all know this guy, Garrett Wallow.
Practice.
I don't even know if his parents know him. Maybe they're the only ones who know. He was a mid-season waiver claim, all right? The guy that dominated the run game.
Great job.
Eric Kendricks. He was elevated from the practice squad, all right? Who was their guy, their main pass rusher? All right, was it Nick Bosa? Oh, no, Nick Bosa has been on IR for almost the entire season. Keon White. That was a midseason trade. Give me an absolute break here. This guy's done an amazing job in the red zone. And to me, when you talk about, coach of the year, that type of thing, Kyle Shanahan's going to get some votes. But there's no doubt in my mind who should be the assistant coach of the year, Robert Saleh.
Well, Moss, we talked about it yesterday a couple weeks ago when that game was for the #1 seed. And when you lose the game for the #1 seed and you drop down and all of a sudden you find yourself playing on wild card weekend, what's the mental process? And Kyle Shanahan's got his guys here in the divisional round.
You know, being able to tip my hat to Kyle Shanahan, and like you said, Rex, the phenomenal job he's done. But, you know, going back to LT and what Lindsey, LT, was talking about, you know, Kyle Shanahan, and I really want to speak about that piece. And the reason why I want to speak about that piece, because we talking about when we highlight CMC almost every week. Right. And I've been following this young man ever since he was at Stanford. Come to Carolina, y'all know that's my home. But his dad, Ed McCaffrey. Ed McCaffrey was a problem for the Denver Broncos at the wide receiver position. I always talk about it's a family affair. And one thing about that I really took to heart about studying other wide receivers, I really studied Ed McCaffrey. And the reason why I'm calling Ed McCaffrey's out is because in the history of the game, I've studied a lot of positions, guys. The running back position mainly. I think I've seen probably the best set of hands that I've ever seen coming out of the backfield by a running back and Christian McCaffrey. Last week, the gadget play with Coach Shanahan right here. You see the reverse to Jennings. Rex, I want you to look at the focus and the concentration of this man's hand-eye coordination.
Really amazing.
Being able to catch this ball over the shoulder. There's a lot of wide receivers in the National Football League, Greeny, that's getting paid double digits in the millions that will not make this catch.
Right.
Everything that CMC stands for, what he's been doing in this offense, Kyle Shanahan moving him around has been a problem. Shout-outs and kudos to Ed McCaffrey because I see the backyard play if your son really shows up, man.
He was a beast.
Yeah, listen, I know the Niners are this huge underdog. Again, they got beat 2 weeks ago for the 1 seed. But, like, are we going to be surprised if Kyle Shanahan puts on another coaching masterpiece, right? Like, if they make a play or two in this game and go up there and steal this, because I'm not, right? Again, the guy's undefeated in the divisional round, and what he's working with offensively, what he's done with this offense, they've really turned into a great drop-back pass team. And the wideouts they're playing with, right? Like, speaking of guys you've never heard of, Rex, right? Hey, Demarcus Robinson. Well, you know, let me tell you this, Rex. I heard of him because I played with him, right? His rookie year. And this guy's a baller. This kid, and I call him a kid. I think he's in his 10th year in the NFL now. But, like, listen, it's never too big, right? Went for over 100 yards, had the big touchdown catch. And who's it going to be again this week, right, Rob? We talk about Jake Tonja. So here we are with the throwback. Hey, his rookie year in the playoffs here. And this kid was just like, it was never too much for him. You could tell right away when he was a young guy battling for a roster spot. This guy wanted the ball. Here we are. He has his head on a wheel. He's running the must outside release clear out, right, Randy? But he knows he's getting the ball in the hole. Makes a play in a playoff game as a young rookie, right? And again, you saw it last week. And I think that's this great mindset of this entire Niners team. It is. Right? No, next man up. Who's it going to be this week? It doesn't matter if we're not a household name. They're not afraid to go out there and make plays.
Yeah, they never make excuses. You know what? You put that decal on the helmet, means you're special, and that's how they play.
Yep. You know, real quick, let me say this. You know, over the last couple of weeks, Pearsall has been battling. We didn't know if he was going to be in and out. But the emergence of Robinson coming in, working the outside of the passing game for the 49ers. Now they got Pearsall back. 2 receivers working the outside of numbers. I can't wait to see this.
Okay, so Juwan Jennings, we saw him throwing that touchdown pass. It's not the first time that we've seen him do it, and it should not come as an enormous surprise either because of his history. One more look at the play last week. Again, this was really the moment of the weekend in the NFL playoffs. Look at the hit that Jennings takes as he throws that. And then the great catch by McCaffrey. But as many people may not still realize, Juwan Jennings was a high school quarterback and a great one. He starred at Blackman High School in Tennessee, where he had 22 touchdown passes and 17 touchdown runs.
I see you, Jennings.
As a senior in 2014. He was rated in some services very highly ahead of a lot of guys who are in the NFL now, including Joe Burrow and some others who were his age. So Juwan Jennings, maybe find him, you know, doing something a little sneaky today because we know they're playing so shorthanded. And as Adam Schefter rejoins us with more on that, Schefter, the latest, obviously, is George Kittle, who went down.
Yeah, he underwent surgery this past week, Greeny, and there are a couple of different surgeries you could have on a torn Achilles. He opted for the Speed Bridge one, which is the faster and a little bit riskier version, but it can get him back on the field quicker. He is expected to miss 6 to 10 months, but this will give him a chance to get back sooner. That's how important it is to George Kittle to be back out there. His season is done. He will serve now as an inspiration for this team moving forward. And in the midst of all these coordinators coaching and interviewing for jobs around the league, look at how many are squaring off head-to-head today. The 49ers defense coordinator, Robert Saleh, will go up against the Seahawks offensive coordinator, Clint Kubiak. The 49ers offensive coordinator, Clay Kubiak, will go up against the Seahawks defensive coordinator, Aiden Dirty. And then, of course, in the first game today, Joe Brady versus Vance Joseph, the Bills offense versus the Broncos defense. So these are the interviews within